abdomen. So I'll hold this guy together while I do this. So pec major, pectoralis major, the big chest muscle. Right here, pectoralis major. Now the pec minor, if we pulled this one away, this is what we'd see over here. They look nothing alike. Pectoralis minor would be found under the major, but those strands of linear muscle would be pectoralis minor. Serratus anterior. So these muscles here that wrap around on the surface of the rib cage. Surface, not in between the ribs, but the surface. Serratus anterior. All right. External and internal intercostals. Now, intercostal means between the ribs. So a muscle that shows from the outside between the ribs, external intercostal. External intercostal. Now, if I take the chest plate off and I look at the muscle between the ribs from the inside, internal intercostal. So there are two layers. Internal intercostal. Then the next four muscles would be in order from outside to in. So the rectus abdominis here, your kind of six-pack muscles there. Rectus abdominis. Then for the model, I believe that this side is the external oblique, or showing the external oblique. Then that one get peeled away, and you'd see these muscles underneath. This would be the internal obliques. It's just a model thing, but they run at kind of 45-degree angles on your sides.
Right above the hip bone?
Yeah, above the hip, kind of below the ribs area. And then the last one, transversus abdominis, you'd have to see from the inside. It's the most innermost layer, and that would be this muscle here that runs left to right, horizontal. Transversus abdominis. Remember, transverse section would be like cutting you at the waist. Transversus abdominis. Now the back, one of the muscles would be best seen on the arm model, but I'll just mention it here too. So first, trapezius. Trapezius would be this kind of diamond-shaped upper back muscle, goes into the neck. It would be on both sides, of course, trapezius. Infraspinatus. Now, the infraspinatus is a muscle that helps to attach the arm to the back. So I put it on the back list, but it's actually best viewed on an arm model because they give you more than the arm. They give you kind of the connection beyond the arm. And so the infraspinatus, if you remember your skeletal terms, remember that's the spine of the scapula. So below that, we mentioned the infraspinous fossa. So the muscle on that surface would be infraspinatus. Infraspinatus. You can come in. Infraspinatus. Latissimus dorsi, the lats, so to speak. That's this kind of lower back muscle right here. Right here, both sides, of course. That kind of comes up and over. Swimmers tend to develop this pretty readily. And then gluteus maximus and gluteus medius. The gluteus maximus would be the major butt muscle here. If I pulled that part off, you could see the gluteus medius right here. Gluteus medius. Put his butt back again. Okay, rest of the arm. Some muscles missing.
He's had some trauma.
Yes, in fact, that's trauma from the last class. I almost dropped this on for a minute. All right, deltoid, major shoulder muscle, covers that entire shoulder joint there, and where we see that would attach to the deltoid tuberosity, further down. Biceps brachii. probably one of the muscles we know pretty easily. Upper arm, front side, anterior surface, bicep brachii. Underneath it, probably just as big, but it's covered up, brachialis. Brachialis. Right, so it's as big, it would cover as much area as the biceps brachii, but it's covered up. Tricep brachii is, of course, the opposite side, the extender, the back side of your upper arm. Don't take this the wrong way, women, but don't get that grandma tricep. You know where that gets.
The wings.
It's hard to keep up with. It doesn't. You don't use it very often when you think about it. Forearm. So, brachioradialis. Remember, the radius bone is on the thumb side. So the muscle that runs along the thumb side, brachioradialis. Brachio, by the way, is just a reference to the arm. Brachioradialis. And pronator teres.
That's what allows it to rotate.
Yes, that's this
I wrote
muscle
down
right
last
here.
time.
Remember that from last time. That makes me feel good. So that's the pronator teres. This is the one that, when it contracts, it would pull that radius over the ulna and cause you to be able to put your hands down or pronate that arm. And then finally, extensor digitorum. So extensor, extend, digitorum, digits, fingers. So it makes you straighten your fingers out. So draw some lines from your fingers back and the muscle it's connected to. Extensor digitorum. Extensor digitorum.
I'm just thinking.
Okay. Keep them. Now, leg. Got two different, as with the arms, two different models. The leg model that has an above the hip cut up here, it has the only muscle I'm asking for up here. Alright, so if you see anything pointing to above the hip, quite honestly, it's got to be the iliopsoas. Iliopsoas. That's kind of a model reference for you. After that, everything's relatively the same. So, sartorius, that's this strap-like muscle that starts at the lateral upper thigh and crosses the thigh and winds up inside lower thigh. Strap, sartorius. The gracilis, your so-called groin muscle, that's this inside thigh muscle. Stays on the inside, doesn't do anything but stay on the inside. Then the next three muscles we've got are three of the four quadricep muscles. Now, you can't call them quadriceps, you got to call them by their specific name. But those are all front upper thigh. The one in the middle, this is going to be the rectus femoris. Rectus femoris. Femoris references the
Femur.
femur. Yes. That means this one outside. Remember, I've got a left foot here, so this is lateral. This makes this the vastus lateralis. Vastus lateralis. And then the inside one, vastus medialis. Now, those are just three of the four. I don't ask the fourth because the vastus intermedius is underneath all this, and you really can't show it. Backside. What you might know better is the hamstring muscles. So now notice I've turned the foot around. The lateral outer muscle is going to be the bicep femoris. Then the inside two, one's above, one's underneath. The one above that shows most, semitendinosus. And the one that's peeking out behind it, semimembranosus. Semitendinosus, semimembranosus.
Looks like that semitendinosus also has like a tendon on it.
Yeah.
The white part.
Yeah, well, yes, they all would. All muscles have to have tendons to attach to bones, but yeah, it is more significant on the tendinosus, therefore it probably did relate to its name. All right, front side, lower leg, Only one I need you to know, tibialis anterior, anterior front, tibialis, tibia. And then on the back side, most of us know this to be the calf muscle. This is the gastrocnemius. Some say gastrocnemius there. And then the soleus is just probably about as big in surface area, not as fat, but as big. And it's peeking out here, and that's the soleus. Only one tendon I'm asking you to know. That's the calcaneal tendon. That attaches the gastrocnemius to the calcaneus, which is one of the bones you need to know in your tarsal bones.
Would that be
your
like,
heel bone.
is that also what the one that's referred to like the Achilles tendon?
It is. You can use either.
I want to look down. I just
Yeah.
heard him say that on the phone.
Yeah. What's the story there?
Whenever you read it and then you were like,
Is that what he cut on somebody else, or is that what he got?
That's what he got cut.
That's what he got cut.
That's how they got him, right?
Yes, that's how they killed him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. All right.